Hey, podcast listeners, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Nick.
And we host the Facing Off podcast, and we are inviting you to give our podcast a listen.
On Facing Off, Gabe and I take two movies we find to be similar, and we compare, contrast, and rate them in our own unique way. We pair movies across all genres. As long as there's a common thread between the two movies, we'll face them off. We also give these movies awards at the end of the episode. Sometimes we even rank our favorite movies based on some specific criteria.
So, after finishing this podcast, please go and listen to Facing Off, which can be found on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts simply by searching for Facing Off. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter by looking up Facing Off Pod.
Podcast is all very scientific. We don't have time to get into it right now.
I guess you'll just have to listen to find out.
I guess so.
Today we're looking at The Nightmare Before Christmas, a 1993 stop-motion animated musical directed by Henry Selick and produced and conceived by Tim Burton. The story originated in a poem written by Burton in 1982 while he was working as an animator at Disney. It tells the story of Jack Skellington, the king of Halloween Town, who stumbles through a portal to Christmas Town and becomes obsessed with celebrating the holiday. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between. Welcome back to the Christmas and Chill podcast. You're here this evening with a full cast. Been a couple of days, but it's exciting to have everyone here. How are we all this evening?
Good. That was a chorus of good. Actually, no, I'm not good.
Why are you not good?
Why aren't you good?
I need to address something, everyone. It's a bit of an elephant in the room. Josh on the podcast yesterday acted very inappropriately. It was something that he actually didn't say, and I'm quite mad at him. We've had some powwows. We've had a talk about it. He didn't make a COVID joke yesterday.
I just realised. Oh my god!
He really
Josh.
dropped the ball, and so I've had to pull him up on it.
I'll let everyone down.
Yeah. Did you want to make an apology now, Josh, or?
Nah.
No, we deserve an apology.
No, all right, okay, all right. To our faithful listeners, I am sorry that I didn't make a movie reference to COVID-19. I will try and do better moving forward. But, you know, these things, it's hard sometimes, and, you know, you forget, you live and you learn, but that's okay. We'll get there together.
That felt sincere. Thank you so much.
Tonight, it was exciting. We watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, the first and only Halloween Christmas movie on our list. I'll ask the general gang, what do we think of the movie, guys?
Pretty good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
The best.
We've all seen the movie before?
No, I haven't seen the movie, I don't think.
Ah, right. Okay, well let me start with you then, Amy. What did you think of the movie?
You walked into that one.
I thought it was interesting. Like it was kind of cool having, like, I guess two like holidays, if you want to call it, even though Halloween's not really celebrated here, in one movie. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's address one of the big, strengths of the movie, the animation style. So this is kind of the first stop motion movie that we've come across on this list. What do we think of the animation style, guys? Did we like it?
I loved it. I think it also helps that this was a movie created by Tim Burton. So you can, if anybody has seen any Tim Burton movies, he's done Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice.
I feel like it's impossible to be on planet Earth and not know who Tim Burton is.
Yeah, but some people, like nowadays, if you're like getting into movies and stuff, you don't really see much of his work. But he's got a very distinct style, and especially in the 90s to the early like end of the 80s to the early 2000s, he was one of those directors that when you saw it, you knew immediately, oh, that's Tim Burton, because he's kind of weird and wacky and kind of gothic. It's weird. Yeah, but the animation style is, like, fantastic, and I don't think you could do this movie any other way besides doing it in animation, to be honest.
What do you think, Maddie? What do you think of the animation style?
I'm a big fan of The Corpse's Bride, so it's quite similar. I'm a big sucker for animation, like stop motion. Chicken Run's my favorite movie ever, so any stop motion, clay motion, I am in. Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's hard to enjoy when I'm not the biggest Tim Burton fan, though.
Oh, that's right.
Tim, he definitely has a distinct style, doesn't he? And I always equate Tim Burton and Baz Luhrmann together in my head because they're two directors who direct to a very particular style, but don't like to alleviate from that style.
Wes Anderson is very similar. There's a lot of directors who are very known for their style, and because they have the freedom to do whatever they want, they can just go with it. And it's Tim Burton being one of those weird, and I genuinely say weird because when he started out, he was one of those unusual characters. Like he worked at Disney, and one of the first things people said about him was he was a weird guy. So, I don't know. He's just one of those creators that is very distinct. So
yeah, definitely.
I meant that he was problematic, not about his animation style, but that's all right.
Personal,
too.
yeah.
That too.
Yeah, very true. This movie, there's not a whole bunch of dialogue.
It's a musical.
It's pretty much a musical. Amy, being this is the first time that you've watched this movie, what did you think of the fact that it was pretty much all singing?
I actually liked it, to be honest. And also, like, I guess it because it wasn't all based on Christmas, it wasn't all Christmas music either, which is maybe a nice change from what we've been listening to the last, like, 11 or 12 days or whatever.
Oh my God, there was singing in this movie, guys. Wow.
Also, a fun fact about the movie. So the movie was the music was made by Danny Elfman, who's done basically all the Tim Burton stuff. But he actually sings as Jack Skellington in the movie. So he's Jack Skellington's singing voice. And there's a couple of other actors and actresses that are in this. They're in actually some of our other Christmas movies.
Yes, I was going to point this out. Catherine O'Hara, who plays the mum in Home Alone, is also Sally. And she is winning the Christmas movie ranking. She's in 3 now, so she's the queen of Christmas.
Oh.
Our own Moira Rose.
Christmas queen.
I mean, actually,
Christmas baby.
Actually, to be honest, I was just going to say, she's beaten Will Ferrell, but then actually thinking about it's better.
Wow, that's harsh.
I have a fun fact for Luke, actually, because you were just mentioning Danny Elfman. Did you know he did all the music for 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh, really?
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about that, though.
He did the 50 Shades of Grey music, and he's also the composer of the Simpsons theme song. That's called versatility,
weird.
my friends.
He's got an unusual thing. But yeah, another famous actor that was in this was, I didn't realize the guy who voiced Jack Skellington actually was Prince Humperdinck from The Princess Bride. There's a lot of actresses and actors who have got very distinct voices. Patrick Stewart is actually doing the narration at the start and the end of the movie, which I didn't realize until I looked it up. Oh, okay, cool. So there's just a lot of a lot of people in this that is kind of cool. So,
well, look. Speaking of Danny Elfman, I figured we might as well land on him for a moment because definitely Danny Elfman has composed the music for the film, and I guess by doing so has basically written the movie in essence. Considering it was pretty much all singing. If somebody else had gone through and composed the movie, do you think it would be as good as it is?
I couldn't see it, but that's also because for me, as someone who has watched this film probably over 100 times, and for about 16 years of my life, this was watched every single Christmas Eve in my family. This is, like, I couldn't imagine this being done another way, and I think it's good that it's so distinct, because if it could be imitated in a different world, I think it would lose the magic of the movie. Like, it wouldn't have the same... Like, there's a lot of Christmas songs that are good, but because they get played in so many different ways, sometimes the magic of the song kind of disappears, or at least feels a little cheaper than normal. But with this one, like, there's some of the... Like, we've seen in some of the movies we've watched so far, there are certain songs that come up and we hear them and like, oh, that's a really, really good song, and it doesn't feel like carols, and sometimes carols can be a bit sort of, bit samey. But with this, because the music is so distinct and so to its story, it works really well for what it's trying to convey.
So Amy, we should just go off and start our own podcast because
Oh, wait, did you just say we should start our own podcast, Maddie?
Yeah.
Well, I said tomorrow night's just going to be me sitting there saying nothing, probably. Because Luke's going to be there and Josh is going to be there. So, yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Hey, we talked about...
Brilliant.
Hey, I haven't been on an episode I haven't been on 3 episodes. I've been in probably a quarter of the episodes so far. I can have at least some time to chat.
It's a bloody quarter too much, if you ask me. No, I'm joking.
Well, I'm going to see myself out if I'm not wanted.
Okay, all right. Amy, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Take that, Amy.
That's right. You ask and you shall receive. Considering this was a Halloween-themed movie, how Christmassy
I knew
do you
you
think
were
this
gonna
movie
ask
is?
me this
Considering you're the
question.
Christmas expert. What do you think, Amy?
And also an occupational therapy expert. But
That's true.
Yes, there was a wheelchair in this
Christmas/OT.
movie.
the Christmas OT.
All right, no, let's focus on that. What did you think of the doctor from an OT standpoint?
I mean, I thought his wheelchair was pretty cool, like the way he could like move it around and stuff.
They gave him a ramp in the hall.
Yeah,
when he's
that's really
getting
good.
his-
Like there was no stairs in the house. He was able to
Quite
access
accessible.
That
all floors.
reduces
Yeah.
hazards.
What do you think about the fact that he could open up his brain?
He gave
I wish
his...
I
mean,
could do
that's
that
a
so I
bit
could take
advanced.
my fucking
He
brain
did
out.
also give half his brain to his wife, which I don't know if that's going to lose a bit of his short-term memory, but...
I mean, if we could all do what he could do, then I think we've pretty much...
How long do you
Found-
think he'd have to rehab?
It'd be a long time. But like, I mean, as in like, if we didn't, if we could just do it and be fine, then that just saves the world. Like, there would be no more issues with stroke and all that stuff, because you could just open people's brains and we'd all be fine.
So
You
we
should look
just
into
have
that,
to be
Amy.
so we just have to be a mad scientist making somebody else as in our vision, and that's the only way we can get rid of any diseases on the world.
I like it. But also, how Christmassy is this movie, Amy?
Okay, so I think it is Christmassy, but I wouldn't say it's as Christmassy as other movies we've watched. Like,
Interesting.
there was themes of Christmas popping up, but I think because the Halloween aspect was in there, a lot of the time it also, I feel like, overtook the Christmas vibe. Like, you could tell that it was Christmas and he was being Santa and all that, but I think because he was a skeleton and like he was supposed to be for Halloween, I feel like that took away from the Christmassy feeling. I'm not saying it's not a Christmas movie, because I think it is, but because of the Halloween theme, it took away, for me anyway, the feeling of Christmas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That does make sense. That's actually quite interesting. Maddie, what do you think? Do you think it's Christmassy?
It's interesting compared to a lot of the other movies we've watched that have similar traits, similar tropes. within Christmas movies. I wouldn't say it follows all the Christmas tropes. Like, there's not a lot of, family aspect. They've got the love aspect, of course. They've got the kind of redemption arc with Jack, I guess. I'd be interested to hear what Luke has to say about that. But yes, it does have themes of Christmas, so I'd class it as a Christmas movie. But you could also watch it at Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, it's interchangeable, I reckon. And a lot of people watch it at Halloween.
And also, like, I don't know.
Rather than Christmas.
Yeah, and also, like, on Disney Plus, the next movie that was suggested was a Halloween movie. So...
Is that because it's in the title, though?
Interesting.
Oh, no, Nightmare Before Christmas. There's no Halloween in the
Yeah,
title.
no, actually, you're right. It came up with like Hocus Pocus. or
yeah,
something
that's
at
same
the
for
end, I
us
think.
as well.
But that's also because Hocus Pocus came out the same year or around the same time. So it's the same type of, like, it came out, I think, in 93 or something like that. And it has themes of Halloween, so that's why. And there's a lot more Halloween movies than there is Christmas movies on the site, I would imagine. I don't know. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question. I think it's interesting. I think it is Christmassy. I think it certainly has a lot of like this movie explores what the idea of Christmas is. I think, especially with Jack doing all his experiments in his lab and trying to figure out what Christmas is, and trying to break down in a scientific matter, how can I figure out what Christmas is, until he realizes that it's all about belief.
So do you think he has a redemption arc?
Well, he does, but it's not a Christmas redemption arc. It's a Halloween redemption arc. Because at the end, he realizes that he needs to be himself. And who he is the Pumpkin King. So I think he does have a redemption arc, but in like a reverse Christmas way. And that he realizes that Christmas was the catalyst to realize that he is really the king of Halloween. Does that make sense? Oh, that's pretty confusing.
I agree with you, Josh. I think for him, it's more... He's essentially having an existential crisis. Like, he has the point where he's fed up with Halloween.
Same.
Like, he's fed up with the idea of being the Pumpkin King, which for him, it gives him a lot of joy, as you can see in the first song. But when he goes and finds Christmas, I think it gives him this warped idea of what Christmas actually is, and he doesn't understand what the meaning of Christmas is until right at the end, where it's more about the belief, it's about the joy. He understands and the interesting thing about his character, he understands the joy. He understands a lot of what people would, if you showed them a Christmas movie, they could understand all of the, as Maddie would say, the tropes of Christmas. But they're not, like, he's not understanding the meaning behind that, which is really interesting for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I have a question about that then. So, like, when he gives all the presents and they're all, like, spooky toys, is that because the Halloween town folks don't know how to do Christmas? Like, they don't understand the joy of Christmas, or they're just used to being spooky, so that's what they've done? Because I was confused at if he'd done it on purpose or not.
No, he wanted to do the same thing as what Santa does with Christmas, but because his town and him are so entrenched in Halloween, it came out as scary. So really, it's weird. It kind of showed that he was truly scary. Like, he still had the passion and he still had everything. He just needed a different perspective in order to see he actually is truly the person or skeleton that he actually is. So I think it's more he's misguided about the whole adventure, and then he realizes at the end. It's more like he's humbled into looking inside and seeing what he actually is.
So in other words, it's like in a normal Christmas, or I don't want to say normal Christmas movie, but in another Christmas movie, Christmas is what makes the person, I mean, it's like they use Christmas to realize what the meaning of Christmas is, whereas with this movie, it's like they use Christmas to make him realize that he's actually Halloween, not Christmas.
Yeah. And that
they reverse it.
Yeah, and he can't take over someone else's holiday just because he's upset with himself. Because that's what he does. He takes away all the Christmassy stuff in order to enact his dream, which he believes is Halloween Christmas, pretty much.
I have a question for Amy and Josh and Luke, whoever wants to answer. They didn't, like, usually when we watch a Christmas movie, they talk about the North Pole, but where Santa comes from, it's Christmas Town. What did you think about that?
I love it. I think it's great. I think it works really well in the worlds that it inhabits. Like, all of the we saw the Easter Bunny. Like, I like the fact that this is a world where holidays can interact with each other, which could, if they could make a sequel, would be really interesting to see them jump between the different worlds and meet all of the different people from those worlds.
I read that he was going to do a sequel exactly like that, about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
It'd be weird. What do you think, Amy? Sorry. No North Pole. Only elves in Christmas Town.
I mean, I don't mind it. Like, it's something different. Because, like, as we've noticed throughout this whole time, the stories are all kind of the same. So I guess having this movie where there's no North Pole and all that, it's like something new and different.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about, I guess, the villain of the movie, Oogie Boogie.
Uh-oh. You can't... It's actually quite an offensive term.
Well, yeah, look, it is. No, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say he has the best song in the whole movie. He's, like, kind of jazzy, like, talking to Santa and I don't know, admittedly, he is kind of written in there as they needed a kind of bad guy to foil, but, like, it was really interesting to see, basically, the creature that could scare people from under their beds talking to Santa Claus. It was kind of weird and interesting, but his song is the best song in the whole movie, by far.
Can I ask another question?
Mm-hmm.
Why was the only person of colour voice the bad guy?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Yeah, it's quite interesting. See, I also agree that I think Oogie Boogie's got the best song, but you're right. It is perhaps it's a product of its time.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that the whole gambling kind of scene was a bit New Orleans-ish. And given the style of music that they wrote for Oogie Boogie, that would explain kind of why he's, I guess, depicted as a person of colour. But you're not wrong. It is interesting that the only, I guess, the only person of colour in the movie is the bad guy.
But a lot of it's weird because he's got such a good voice that I don't know if that's really that they stereotyped him into that role because maybe the actor is of color, or it's just he's just got a great voice and, you know, it works with the gambling theme. And yeah, I don't know, it could, depending on what it is. I personally wouldn't think so, but I might be wrong. I don't know Tim Burton. I don't know any of the other people who were in it, so.
No, it's interesting.
I mean, most of the villains in Tim Burton movies are people of colour. But let's talk about something else.
If we were people from the movie, who would we be?
Okay, hands down, Joshua Jack Skellington, because you're tall and lanky.
Well, I was also going to say Josh would be also the type of person that would start with a project and only finish when he finds any humility. I think,
that's true.
You are, when you get into a project, you're just 100% going for that project. You're not stopping until it's completed. That's why.
Also has an existential crisis every other day. There was a line that was like, now that I'm dead, I can take off my head and perform Shakespearean quotations. And I was like, that's Josh.
Yeah. No animal, no man can scream like a can, like the fury of my rear salutations. I know this movie back to front, so I know all the lyrics. It's kind of sad, to be honest.
Who would be who? All right, so if I'm Jack, who else would be who?
I would be the mayor. I think I'd be the mayor.
I was going to say you're the mayor. I was going to say
he also has my favorite line in the movie where he's knocking on Jack's door and he's like, Jack, please, I'm only an elected official. I can't make decisions by myself.
I can't make decisions.
I was just like, I think I'm him more because, like, I can be quite joyful and all that sort of stuff, but that the anxiety and the anger can switch on a moment's notice sometimes. So it's sort of like
relatable.
Yeah, and I'm all right being him. He's got a good voice. He's a cool character. Why not?
I like it. Who would...
Amy, you're 0.
Are you okay with being 0? There's not
I'll
so
be
many
a
female
dog.
characters, so
Dogs are always the best character.
0 is pretty good. Who would you be, Maddie?
I don't know.
Are you Sally? Because
I want to
pine
say
after
Sally,
Josh?
but I don't want to be so at myself. Like, yeah, I'm totally Sally. I also had a really dark joke that Josh wouldn't allow me to say.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say it.
Because I'm pining over Josh. That's the only reason I would be Sally. Well, that got awkward.
That was good. All right, that's good. Do you think that... So
wow,
at
I'm
the
just
end,
going to cut that entire part out.
At the end, when it started snowing for the first time in Halloween Town, and kind of everyone else starts singing, "What's this?" Do you think, given the fact that Halloween Town has never seen a snowstorm before, and the temperature would have dropped suddenly, that everyone in Halloween Town would therefore be more susceptible to COVID? Welcome back to the podcast.
There we go.
That was too easy. That was too easy. You got to make it more subtle, mate.
I have a fun fact, actually, about the scene. You know when the vampires are
I
playing
thought you were going
hockey?
to say a fun fact about COVID. I was like,
No. It's an interesting one because we were watching the movie and I saw it and I'm like, wait, that's not right. Because I've watched the VHS of this so many times. They actually cut out... So when they're playing hockey on the ice and they hit the pumpkin, it's actually supposed to be Tim Burton's head. Like, it's actually... Like, they play with his head and they hit it. But obviously because... Like, I've noticed that there are some things in the movie that we watched tonight are a little different than when I remember them as a kid. But that might be just because it's been redone and and basically recreated for online services. But yeah, yes, I would agree with you, Josh. I think they would be more susceptible to COVID. Also, a lot of them are like monsters and sickly.
But also, at the same time, they're all like... I mean, one guy can bloody take his head off and take his brain out. So... Do you really think that...
Given that they're all dead, can they catch COVID?
No, the clown could because he takes his face off. So
COVID doesn't discriminate, guys.
Yeah, but if you're already dead, then it doesn't need to attack you to kill you.
Yeah, but then if he sees someone else, then he's going to spread the COVID because he doesn't know he's got it.
Love it. Maddie,
All
I think
right.
it's time for your segment.
Yes, it is. But I'm mixing it up tonight, okay? Now, I want how many Christmas hats you give this out of 10, but I want you to sum it up with the amount of hats you give it. So, like, if I give it 7 hats out of 10, you can only have 7 words to describe
No.
how much you liked the movie. So, I think I'm going to go Luke first because he's quick on his feet. How many Christmas hats would you give it out of 10?
He's thinking.
Counting.
He's counting the words.
Yeah, I'm trying to... Yeah. If anybody else has it, they can go. I'm trying to count. For audio listeners, I'm actually physically counting on my fingers so I can make my thing.
I've got it.
Yes, Josh, how many Christmas hats out of 10?
I give this a 7 'cause good.
I meant like you can say how many and then your words.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. I was including
Well,
that
that's how
in
I
the
was
count.
trying. No. So say I will. I'm also going to give it a 7. It was a very good film. Yes. Luke, have you got yours?
This is one of my favorites of all time. The best. That's 11.
That's 11 out of 10. You
That's
heard
11.
it here first.
This is like one of the... When I was looking through... I think, Josh, you had posted the top 5 list. I think this is like about a couple of days ago. And I was like,
You had as
I know
many
it's number
words
one
to describe
for me.
it as you could,
I know
and
it's
now you're
number
describing
one.
with more
So,
words.
I had to make it number one. So it's 11 out of 10 for me.
You just
Wow.
said a lot more than 11 words. Amy, your turn.
Okay. I think I'm going to go 7.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It was really, really good. Oh no, I've run out of words. More Christmas. There we go.
That's fair. That's fair.
I was going to say maybe more Christmas, but that ended up being 8, and I was like, I'm going to give it a 7.
Good work. That was nice. Fantastic.
You got a fun fact for
Oh,
us,
yes.
love?
Yes, my fun.
Oh, no, wait. We'll leave you to last. Josh, what's your fucking joke?
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Oh no.
I thought of this like 5 minutes before the podcast. And it's not good, and I apologise.
Oh, no.
What type of music do elves listen to?
Elvis Presley.
No, that would be better than my answer.
What's your answer then?
Rap.
Oh, I've heard that joke before. That's not your own joke.
Oh, really?
You're a
Oh, damn
liar.
I thought I made that up in my head.
You didn't.
So,
Oh,
Maddie
dear.
sent us a message in our big group chat, and she asked if I wanted to do my own segment because everybody else had a segment. I have a segment, and
I'm ready. Good on
yes, I do. And this is like, I ran into a bit of a problem because Amy's already got the fun facts. Josh has the jokes, and Maddie has her
Real good jokes.
has her like hats out of 10. So I was
I mean,
thinking
it's barely a segment, but
I
I'm
wanted to
sticking
make
with
something
it.
really, really Christmassy. So I thought to myself, I'm gonna get some rhetorical Christmas questions for everyone, just ask a couple of Christmas question every episode and see what you guys think.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What's your question for the day, Luke?
All right. So the first one, it's a simple one. Everybody's probably got one. Is what is your best Christmas memory? So what has been your best Christmas memory? It doesn't have to be like super long or whatever. It could be a short little story. It could be whatever. These sort of questions are going to be more rhetorical than anything else. I'm just going to ask you a question and then get you to respond. And everyone can get in if they want or whatever it is.
Luke, do you want to kick us off while
right.
we're thinking?
Yeah. So one of my favorite Christmas memories is I was in South America on a family trip. And one of the things that we didn't have any presents that year, but what we actually did is that New Year's Eve we started the walk on the Machu Picchu, the trek to Machu Picchu, and we went over this place called Dead Woman's Pass. And on Christmas Eve, we had gone over basically one of the hardest bits of the walk. And that night, we had basically the Sherpas had bought this massive feast where we had chicken, peas, potatoes, just a whole banquet of food. And it's probably one of my favorite memories of just being with my family and a whole bunch of Sherpas and other hikers as well, and just all eating this lovely like split pea soup and chicken. And yeah, it's just one of those memories I
Nice.
think will just stay with me for the rest of my life. So, yeah.
Nice.
My favourite memory is when I got a ripstick for Christmas.
That's a bloody good Christmas memory, that is.
Yeah.
Can you still ride that
Far out.
ripstick?
Doesn't compare to Machu Picchu and Sherpas, but there was a ripstick, so I had a good time.
I enjoyed a Christmas where now see all our Christmases, like when we were growing up, were always themed with my aunt. Like one year we had Frida Kahlo Christmas where everyone dressed up as Frida Kahlo, and then one year we all had 70s porn mustache Christmas where we all had to wear 70s porn. Like that's such
So it's themed.
my family thing
So
to do.
you're
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so I feel like that's probably the memory. I don't think there's one. I feel like we had lots of Christmases where we had a whole bunch of different themes. So I'm going to go with that.
I think my favorite Christmas memory, it's not really a particular time or date or whatever, but it's probably because I obviously used to live overseas in Asia and stuff. I think my favorite memory was just coming back home to Australia to spend time with my grandparents and just coming home. Yeah, that was my...
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good segment. I like that.
Yeah, I
Good work.
thought that we talk a lot about Christmas, but we don't talk about ourselves. We usually talk about the movie. So it'd be nice to, see what we're like and all that sort of thing. So,
Amy, mate, do you have a fun fact for us?
Yes, I do. Okay. The biggest display of lights ever made is actually in Australia. So this guy, he had 1,194,318 LEDs covering 3,865 square meters. And,
Wow.
and he used his home, his name was David Richards, and he used his home to raise $20,000 for SIDS and Kids Act since 2011.
Oh, wow.
that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Good on him.
What a good guy. How long ago was this? Do you know?
Well, it says since 2011, so I feel like
So he's still doing it, maybe?
He's been doing it since then, I guess.
That's cool.
Wow. That's amazing. What a good guy. That's fantastic. We're going to jump into the mailbag, guys, before we wrap up for the day. And we do have a legitimate mailbag question, which is always nice. This comes on the back of one of your fun facts from the other day, Amy.
Oh.
So, Rachel McKenzie is written into us, and I'll read out her question now. So she's saying, American listener here, what are Christmas crackers and paper hats?
Girl! Yes, thank you for replying.
Let us educate you. So these are...
Let me finish the question first. Is it a cracker you eat? What type of paper is the hat made out of? What's a lobster toy? What is this madness? Tell the Americans more. Rachel, I'm
have
sure
so much
Amy
to
and Maddie
educate
will
you.
help you out.
Okay. The way best to describe it, it's kind of like a little... I don't know how to explain it now.
Well, they're
So
also
it's like
a Christmas cracker are also referred to as bonbons as well. So they're kind of like...
Yes.
Okay, Luke, did you
A
hear that
cylindrical-
America doesn't have Christmas crackers?
Yeah, I listened to the episode.
So they're a cylindrical shaped sort of cardboard thing. And they've got two ends to them. So you hold one and another person holds one. When you pull, a gunpowder sort of snap will appear. The person who has the biggest half of the Christmas cracker is the winner of the contents of the Christmas cracker, which can be filled with a joke, a paper crown, which goes around your head so you all sit at the table looking like kings and queens while you eat your turkey.
And it's usually it's not like sturdy paper. It's like tissue paper. So
Yes.
it can break very easily.
That's why it's humiliating when you put one on your head and it rips in half, because
And then
you know you've got the fattest head.
You're the only one then without a Christmas crown, and you're kind of like, I feel like I'm being left out here.
Yes, definitely. And the toys that are usually inside are usually crap. Usually someone will steal one. If you've got a good one, you won't see that ever again. A lobster toy is just a shitty piece of plastic shaped like a lobster, and it's apparently a toy.
Sometimes you can get I got one where it was you can get compasses, you can get paper. There's kind of clips that you can get.
Has any of you ever gotten the magic fish?
Yes, the magic fish
fuck is
that
a
moves
magic
with your
fish?
hand.
Yeah, you put it in a hand and it folds up, and
depending on the heat of your hand, it will move magically.
I
and
have not seen
the
this.
folding of it determines something. Like I can't remember what
kind of
exactly
crackers
it
are you
is.
getting?
It's on like it says on the bit of paper. It's like this
Taking
is
drugs? That
What kind of
sounds like
crackers are you getting? What the fuck?
Wait, Luke, did you just say your Christmas crackers have drugs in them?
Yeah,
Is that what you
no,
just said?
I did not say that. I do not condone.
Can I
the
come
use
to
of
Christmas
drugs.
at your house?
No, I was asking because
Yeah,
you're
I'm
saying
not
about
doing
this
that for
magical
Christmas this year.
fish. I thought maybe you guys were taking drugs and you were
No,
just
it's
having
this.
this
It's like this
piece
plastic,
of fish.
plastic red fish.
Yeah, it is.
And it's
Yeah, I
like
know exactly what
weird,
you're talking about.
You'll need to
Yeah.
send me a video because I've never seen one of these before.
Right,
You
if we have
may
one at
get
Christmas-
one this
Yeah.
year, Luke.
Ooh.
Maybe
Yeah,
in
that's
our
true.
Christmas
Yeah.
crackers.
For
true.
sorry, I
bought
forgot
some.
their name.
They've got exciting things in them. I already looked at the packet.
Yeah, they're
Now, if Luke sends us in anything, we'll just put that right here.
You know what you should do? You should just do a like a montage of like a specific word or something he said in all his
We're
other
gonna
recordings.
do a. I've decided
gonna
we're gonna
put
do a
it-
clip show one night. So
I've put it.
Um,
I've got lots of material about him talking about how cute Zooey Deschanel is, so we'll put that in right now.
this is bullying, and I do not appreciate this at all.
Brilliant.
But to answer your question, Rachel, it's exploding craft that all Australians use on Christmas Day.
And
They're
I
really
actually,
cheap too.
Actually,
They're really cheap to
Rachel,
buy.
I've heard that some people in America have them. So maybe they sell
Ask
them.
around.
If they do, you should try find them and have
Yeah.
them this year. And then let us know what they're like.
Yeah,
What
they're
do you
also
think of
referred
tradition?
to. They're also referred to as bonbons, which also might be the other word using for them. My mum calls them bonbons.
Didn't you say that just a moment ago?
Yes, he did.
Yes, I did. But my mum's
right, okay.
Canadian, so it's sort of like she's had.
Yeah,
them.
because Canada's
So-
in the Commonwealth, so that would
Yeah,
make
I know,
sense that
I know
they're doing
that, but I would have
crackers.
thought that
Because
maybe
they're
that
originally
was,
from
yeah.
the UK.
Oh, okay.
That's where they started.
Yeah.
He didn't listen to the podcast.
Nice. Look, thank you so much for your question, Rachel. Thank you. And look, if you're listening and you'd want to ask us a question, or if you'd like to leave us a comment, or just say g'day, you can do that a couple of different ways. Hit us up at our mailbag. That's mailbag.christmasandchill@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Christmas and Chill Podcast. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. It doesn't matter what the number is that you give us, but I mean, also give us 5. That'd be really good, be really helpful. What are we watching tomorrow night, guys?
Nativity 2.
Oh, Danger in the Manger. It's good. That should be good. But yes, thank you so much for listening this evening, guys. And we'll chat to you tomorrow.
Wait, I have a last word.
Okay, what's the word?
Good night.
Yeah,
For
good
fuck's
night.
sake, Maddie.
It
What
is,
the
it is
fucking...
almost like 11 p.m.
And
That's-
this
yeah.
podcast has gone for 45 minutes, so we're shutting the fuck up now.
All right, guys, have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.